Thank you, Mr.
Let me
Speaker.
come to Equiapim North.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I also rise and standing on Order 93.5 to also contribute to the statement made by the Venerable MP for Subing. Mr. Speaker, I would like to also take consolation in the book of Ecclesiastes that states that no one can anticipate the time of disaster, like a fish caught in a cruel net or a bird caught in a wicked trap. So are humans caught at a time of calamity when it suddenly falls upon them. Mr. Speaker, what happened in Edom is not only tragic, but it also mocks our piety as a nation. Unfortunately, what the people do need now will not be just solidarity messages or just visits to the place. Mr. Speaker, within the last 3 months, we've had many markets, Kwadaso, Kantamanto, and all other places across the country. And when these incidents happen, you normally will have the first 1 week people making solidarity messages and all. But people have lost their livelihoods. So, Speaker, the Edom matter is not just a matter of us expressing sympathies. People have lost whatever they have built for years and for decades. If I listen to the Honourable Member of Parliament for the area, and it's much more important that we also take that into consideration, that these recent power outages, if it is not something that we nip in the bud, it can happen in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm not predicting or prophesying, but it can also happen in Formina. And so it's about time that we get a very concrete position and answers that we can take to even our people. Clearly, you can see that when it happened in Accra, they said, a committee has been set up to give these people some support, micro support. Up to date, if you go for the records, less than 1/10 of the people might have received those support and intended support. Now we have a doom on our hands. Not too long ago, you had other places. What are we doing as a people to also help correct some of these structural issues? If you are talking about electricity or the power outages being one of the critical issues, especially in this fire, I am worried. I'm worried that the more we make such issues, that political football, we will praise the government, praise President Mahama because he visited the people. It's a short space. He leaves and what happens? I saw a video of the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Speaker, shouting on firefighters and then asking them that they should have brought tender containing water and all. Mr. Speaker, these rhetorics, they will not solve the problem of the day. The earlier report of some of these incidents, what happened to it? How did we deal with the structural issues that came up? And how are we taking steps to ensure that other markets are also not affected? And very soon, you also be approaching the dry season. After this, we need to face some of these issues. I want to plead with your good self and your good office that Parliament must also take very concrete steps and hold the appropriate ministers to before Parliament so that we get to know what we are doing to ensure that we do not have such issues recurring, and two, those who have been affected, what is being done for them. I believe that just solidarity messages will not be enough. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'll take.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The fire outbreaks are now becoming unbearable, and I think it's very, very pathetic. But all that I'm seeing, the commentaries that we are giving here, is about the blame game, which is not fair. We are talking about businesses here, Mr. Speaker. what I will urge is that we should brainstorm, we should sit and figure out what will be the way out. The politics in our markets concerning fire is now too much. Let's put the politics away and come out with a concrete solution so that it will help our women and our traders over there. To me, I think we need to educate and re-educate our traders concerning factors that can cause fire in the markets. Secondly, the stores that are there, you go there, sometimes there's not even fire extinguisher there. Some women are there cooking, some are frying, they are doing all sorts of things in the market. We should be concerned about that. It is not a blame game where we have to talk about doom so or not doom so. We all know what is happening. The politics is too much. That is why Kantamanto came. Today is Adum, or is it Doom? Tomorrow, it might be Paga market. So to me, let's put all the politics aside. Let's put all the politics aside and face it. We need to tell our traders in the market that at least they should fix, or we should assist them to fix fire alerts. When there is fire, if it starts and there is a dip, at least they can contain it. The major factor here is that even access in our markets, there's no access. When there's fire, the fire tender cannot even enter the market. That is what we should be concerned about and make sure that we create access. But here is the case, myself and you want to win power. Who will go there and create that access and pull somebody's store down so that you will not get the votes tomorrow? I am urging all of us as a house to hold the bull by the horn and make sure that we do whatever that is necessary for our markets to prevent future events of this nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, the Kumasi people, let me give it to. Let me give it to the ladies. Because
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Speaker,
I haven't called you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you called me.
I'm still contemplating who. I want to consider the ladies because they are mostly found in the markets. So let me give it to Honorable Gloria Owusu.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker,
I want to make this pleading to you that I see this morning your gender sensitivity is so high and you want to consider our beautiful and lovely ladies. So I may you consider adding 2 more ladies, to the agreed number. You had already agreed to 3 apiece, so that 1 on each side, so that you add a lady on each side of the divide, so that we can get a balance. Yes, Speaker. So we still maintain the core number of 3. Yes, Speaker.
Gloria, you have the floor.
thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, fire outbreaks are becoming too much in the country. A while ago, we heard of Kantamanto markets, Konongo market, Techimai market, Asafo market. Mr. Speaker, if the fire outbreak was caused by Dumso, then we should hold the government responsible. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, traders are suffering. Mr. Speaker, these market women work hard and have a loans to pay. Government must come to their aid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Adia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement made by our colleague MP, the MP for Subin. Mr. Speaker, the statement seeks to highlight the issue that occurred a few days ago at Edum in Kumasi, where the market literally got burnt. Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate, and it's indeed very unfortunate, that these situations keep recurring. We are very often very quick to try to find someone to blame for circumstances that we ourselves create. If we don't learn as a people to take responsibility for our actions, I'm afraid we will go around this. It will become a circus. At every turn, a statement will be written, it will be read, we will make contributions. Those who will decide to politicize this will politicize it. But I insist that the issues of fire outbreaks and burnt markets can never and should never be politicized. It is offensive and it is an abuse of the sensibilities of the women who sit in the market. All of us go to the market, and as you indicated, Mr. Speaker, the market is the arena for women. We are either selling, or we are trading, or we are buying. So, at all times, market in this country is business for women. At a time like this, Mr. Speaker, I want us to hear voices of people advocating for a modernization of the markets that we have. A modernization of these markets will keep the women safe and keep their goods safe. But when we don't do that, and we are quick to go back to the structures, some of these structures existed before independence. They will either pull a wire here, connect it here, so that they can also have power in their stall. We cannot blame anybody. What are we doing as a people to look at the market that takes the last population census in this country, in 2021, pegged women at over 51% in this country? Let's say half of these women are trading in the markets. That is an area that policymakers need to focus attention and modernize these markets so that the women and children and girls who go there will be safe. Mr. Speaker, we've seen some attempts where governments come and they pick up some markets and do a redesign or modernizing the places. But what happens to the traditional owners of the stores and stalls in these markets? Oftentimes, Mr. Speaker, when this so-called rehabilitation or reorganization or whatever is finished, the original owners of the shops are found wanting because it becomes so easy for politicians, for office bearers, for public office holders to get in and take over these shops and stalls for their friends and cronies, shortchanging the original owners of the shops. That might be one of the reasons why, Mr. Speaker, they will not be so inclined to want a modernization of their facilities because they end up losing out. Can we agree as a country that this is what they also have to do? That we, when they vote us into public office, have a duty to protect their interests and to protect their properties and spaces. We don't get into office to take over what they owned and in many instances used to grow us and take care of us as we went to school and everything. So, Mr. Speaker, I add my voice to this statement and I urge the city authorities in Kumasi Metropolitan Authority, to take a second look at these facilities. Look at what we can do to bring them to speed, make them a place where everybody wants to go to, and make them a place where our mothers who go there every day are safe to engage in their marketing and trading activities. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Honourable members, I come to leadership.
Speaker, with the greatest of deference, I had earlier made application that we stick to the number. Speaker, the Honourable Gloria who spoke was an additional one. Speaker, with respect, shall we revert to the original agreed number, which was 3? So we minus Honourable Gloria, so we can have one on our side.
Why are you minusing?
Because she was an extra number. Which application we made to you? Speaker, with respect.
Very well. Yes. Honourable Professor Nyako.
Mr. Speaker, you are a good man. Thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, what happened at Edum on Friday, the dawn of Friday, Mr. Speaker, was a national disaster. It was a national disaster. And I'm sure by this time, all of us should be mourning. And I want to comment the maker of the statement, Honorable Subin, for this troubling, worrying, melancholic, and sad statement. Mr. Speaker, what has befallen our brothers and sisters, especially our mothers who ply their trade at Edum, is so sad. And I wish that it didn't happen. Mr. Speaker, livelihoods have been lost. Investments of persons have gone down the gagara, gone down the drain. And I think that we need to be in the shoes of all such persons. Mr. Speaker, at this moment, we cannot only raise them Godspeed. We cannot. What we have to do is that the government must put in interventions, measures to ensure that what happened there doesn't happen again, and also seek the welfare and resettlement of those persons who were affected. Mr. Speaker, what we have heard from the scene of the incident was that sad spectacle was triggered by erratic power supply. This is what we have been told, allegedly, that it was as a result of erratic power supply, what we refer to as doomsday. And we are asking, Mr. Speaker, before investigations are done to unravel the actual cause, this is what we are hearing. This is what we are hearing. Mr. Speaker, it is also true that the president.
Hold on, yes.
Speaker, Professor Nyako is a seasoned debater in this House. He knows that he cannot proceed on the path that he's taking because it will provoke debate. His duty is to make comments on the statements ably delivered by my brother, Lawyer Kofi Yeboah. Obri Yeboah. Yeah, Kofi Obri Yeboah. And he shouldn't proceed on that tangent. Because what is important now is the House being engaged to see what directive the chair will give in respect of bringing some comfort to traders whose businesses have been destroyed by the fire outbreak. The issue of what caused the fire, let's leave it for proper investigations. We can do this on radio, but on this floor, Mr. Speaker, you can't say that this is all we are being told. So you also carry it and bring it to the floor. If my members also say this is all we are also being told, that the fire was set by somebody, then we'll be descending into some chaos. So it should sail safely to the shore and deal with how some temporary relief can be brought to the multitude of traders in his Kofi is in a state of desperation. He needs some comfort, some interim comfort brought to his people. So address that matter. How we can pray the Speaker to make some interim directives. Don't invite my people into this temptation. Don't.
Speaker. Honorable Professor Nyako, just take note of it. I mean, we don't degenerate the comment into.
Mr. Speaker, I mean, we've all studied the English language. I said allegedly. I didn't say that it was ABC. Allegedly. Mr. Speaker, so let me proceed. Let me proceed, Mr. Speaker, and again. Mr. Speaker, and again.
Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement made a beautiful statement, and I'm making commentary on that. And I've not violated any rules of this House. I have not. So I will indulge my respected majority chiefship to give me the space to make my point with all due respect. With all due respect, Honorable Roxanne Dafiamapo, please, let me make my point. Mr. Speaker, in January this year, on 2 different occasions, in my constituency, the Kwadaso Wood Market suffered the same fate.
Honorable, hold on. Honorable members.
Speaker, it is not the place of the member to say that I have not violated any rule of the House. I am drawing his attention to the fact that his comments has the potential of violating the rule. The rule is that where in making a comment in consequent upon a statement made by a member, you make comments and the comments are such that they have the potential of degenerating into a debate. The debate will be that this side will counter what you have said. That is the danger that we must not invite. And I'm drawing his attention, and I've drawn the chair's attention, and the chair is giving a guide. So you take a cue, but you don't say that I have not violated any rule. So you proceed on the same path. If he proceeds on the same path, Mr. Speaker, yeah, exactly. So, Professor Nyaku, we do this all the time. You do this all the time. So avoid. So it's a path not beaten. Don't take that path. Take the beaten path, and let's make progress.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for allowing me to proceed. I won't take the path of Honorable Dafiamapo. I will take a path that doesn't infringe or breaches our rules of engagement in this House. Mr. Speaker, for me, it is becoming one too many. The spate of fire outbreaks in the country, and especially in the region. Mr. Speaker, it happened on 2 occasions in my constituency. The same day that it happened at Edom, it also happened at Ahima Kokobeng. Mr. Speaker, how long can we sit and allow this to fester and wreak havoc in our societies and also in our lives? We need to find a lasting solution to this. I'm told that the president was there. Let's speak out for the records. The president had a program at Nkawie celebrating the World Reforestation Day. He was there. He didn't move from Accra to Kumasi. He was there. So he went there. We don't have any issues about that. But we shouldn't make capital out of this. Let's speak up. If he had moved from Accra to Kumasi, that one would have been different from when he was at Nkawie and he went there. Roxanne, the Pia Mapo. Can't you? Oh, why do you do that to Mr. Speaker, I want to plead. Mr. Speaker, I want to plead that looking at the enormity of the harbor cost, and since we've not exhausted deliberation, commentary on the budget, since the Appropriation Act has not been passed, I plead with your good self and the Minister of Finance and even to the President that provisions should be made in the budget to deal with what happened at Edum. And I'm sure this is not out of place for the government to do this. If we all agree, Mr. Speaker, I remember on Friday, I raised this issue on the floor, and I even pleaded that the Minister for Local Government, Minister for Local Government, Religious Affairs, and Chieftaincy should be brought to the House at least to apprise us about what happened and measures that he wants to put in place to ensure that the victims are catered for and also it doesn't happen again. The leader of the House said that he wouldn't bring him here. And if you all agree that this is a national disaster, the minister should be here to inform us and also about the way forward. We can do something to help our brothers and sisters who have fallen victim to this. So I'm pleading with all of us to support this call by making voluntary allocation to help them to come back to their rightful selves and live better and meaningful life so that they can effectively function in our society. Mr. Speaker, on that score, I want to thank you for this toilet space you're giving to me, but we must do more. We must do more. Mr. Speaker, in some jurisdictions, in California, when we hear of fire outbreaks, it happens mostly in the farms, in the bushes. But in this country, fire outbreaks mostly happen in our markets. There is something wrong about that.
Thank you.
And we must go into it and deal with it once and for all.
Thank you so much
for the space. And thank you, Honorable Dafiamapo, for your interjections. Thank you.
Let's give the last one to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, the comment started from here. From Adam. Yeah. Yes. Very well. So now I'm coming to leadership. So if a leader will yield it to her. Very well. Very well. Fantastic. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement concerning the fire outbreaks in the country. Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious disaster that we must all think about as a nation. Our women are the majority in the market, as our sister said earlier. And this is something that I am so much surprised why we should be quick in determining the cause of the fire outbreak, where there is no report to that effect. And this makes me think that our people on the other side may be behind these fire outbreaks because of the because of being quick in then responding to the cause of the fire. Mr. Speaker, we are in this country and everybody knows that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a man who is interested in building markets for our women and Ghanaians. So there is no way one will stand somewhere and say that the cause of this fire outbreak is due to doomsday. The doomsday that we are all experiencing now is doomsday that have been inherited from the past governments. Mr. Speaker, and this is doomsday that the current government is working hard to solve. So, Mr. Speaker, I will say a time has come where we have to look at our institutions that work seriously on monitoring, especially ECG. This is the time I think ECG should be going around our markets and all other places that we have electrical issues to check on the connections that are in our marketplaces and all other places, because some of the connections that are in the markets are illegal. So the cause of fire outbreak can be connected with a lot of issues. So we plead with the ECG to go take their monitoring seriously, and also I will plead with our local authorities in the Ashanti region and everywhere to go around the markets and check all activities that goes on in the markets, because we have people who sell food in the markets, they use fire. We have people who do all other things that generate fire. So I would say Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kwesi Kunedu.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kwesi Kunedu, please. No, I haven't called anybody. Honorable Kwesi Kunedu. Honorable Kwesi Kunedu. Honorable Kabiru. You should not encourage your sister too.
Mr. Speaker, we would encourage her, but you cannot say that people in Kumasi are doing illegal. That is illegal connection.
Honorable member, if that's what you said, please withdraw that, please. Honorable leader, please. Honorable leader. Honorable Whip. But Honorable Whip, you cannot ask her to stop speaking. I have given her the floor to speak. My honorable member, speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I didn't say the people of Ashanti region are doing illegal connections. I said a lot of things cause fire in so many places, including our markets. One can be illegal connections. One can be illegal connections. And then one can be fire that we leave in the markets. Those who cook in the market, and a lot of things can cause fire outbreak. So the activities that happen in the markets must also be checked. That is what I say, Mr. Speaker. And I'll continue by saying that our women in the market should be very careful with the activities that goes on there. We should check all the things that we use in the market so we don't leave them on. Mr. Speaker, the gender minister and the Maslow CEO have supported the victims with 100,000 Ghana cedis, which I think will add up to what the regional minister has also contributed to the market women. This will support them. It wouldn't solve all their problems, but we are pleading with other donors and well-wishers to come on board and support the vulnerable ones in the market. Especially, we have men in the market too, but the women are more. That is why we seem to be concentrating on the women, not that we are leaving the men out. So we plead with everybody out there to come on board and support the government in supporting our women in the market. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Minority leadership.
Speaker, may I cede my place to the Honorable Kobna Ochedako, rather.
Honorable former Western Region Minister.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm so happy this issue have come up in this House again. Not long ago, we talked about bushfires, and now we are talking about market fires. Mr. Speaker, if you take the maker of the statement, he made it very clear that he believes that this strategy must ignite a national dialogue on market safety and sustainable business practices. And I think that is the core of the matter, because if you take the way fires are engulfing this country in the last 3 months that President John Mahama took over, it is becoming a blot on his governance. And I believe that it is time that the issues that have been raised on both sides of the House are discussed properly and then solutions found for them. Mr. Speaker, before I go on, I would like to express my sympathy for all those who have lost their products or services and their assets at the market. In fact, if you take the work that is being done by the regional minister in trying to raise funding, you can realize that it's peanuts. That also calls on us as a country to start looking at raising regional development funds for regional ministers across the length and breadth of the country, because sometimes when some of these things happen, even financing to even take care of the initial problems becomes a major difficulty. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the women also need a lot of funding to do their businesses. And I believe that this country will have to find new ways or emergency funds immediately for them, for all the markets that have been bent, so that their activities can be resuscitated and reactivated for them to live their lives. But Mr. Speaker, one of the issues that confronts me sometimes is that if you take the NDC current budget that has been presented to Parliament, one way of raising money is to charge taxes on the insurance that people are buying. And the category of insurance that markets can be covered includes this particular taxes. And I believe that government will have to take a second look at removing it so that people will be energized to take insurance for their shops. So that when some of these calamities do happen, the insurance companies can be in there quickly to support it. Because if you even take the California issue that happened, with time, the insurance companies were running away because it was so enormous that they couldn't support it. So I believe that it is better we take these taxes out so that market women, shop owners, can use that money to even buy their own fire extinguishers for all the shops. Because if all the shops, about 2,000 shops, had fire extinguishers, and this issue had happened and they had them, that could have been the first line of defense in spreading the fire across the length and breadth of the matter that has happened at Odum. So I believe that this is one thing that we need to look at. I remember along the line, even for my own market, the Takoradi Central Market, I had to buy a lot of fire extinguishers for them. And they always use this as the first line of defense when fires started anywhere near them. And I believe that is something that we need to encourage across the length and breadth of this country to make sure that we are able to do so. Secondly, a lot of our markets are old. So under the last regime, we're trying to rebuild a lot of these markets. Mr. Speaker, since President Mahama has been able to go to this market in particular, I believe that all the projects that we started under the market program should be continued and completed. Because after all, if you look at the amount of money he's been able to raise from Minerals Income and Investment Fund, which has been the savings done by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, and is moving them to the big push.
we should be able to use some of these monies to support the development of our market. And for the markets that are old, we can also modernize them. At least, if we can even put in water sprinklers in all these markets. Anytime there's a trigger of fire, we can open them up and then they can be another second line of defense for these markets. Mr. Speaker, taking cognizance of the fact that a lot of our members have been talking about these fires, how they create problems in this country, how they take away people's capital from them. I believe that it is time that, Mr. Speaker, you give consequential directives so that the Interior and the Intelligence Committees of this Parliament can look at the reports of all fire outbreaks in this country, especially those concerning markets, for us to determine a straightforward way of solving these problems once and for all. Because the last time it happened, all the young men on TikTok were complaining that it was doing so. Another time, people will complain it's illegal, electricity. Another time, people will complain it's market, the cooking of food in the market, that creates the problem. I believe that if you're able to give this directive, we'll be able to put and have a comprehensive report that can show us in the right direction, and then we can put in the necessary steps to implement them so that we don't have or suffer this fate again as a country. Because the fires are becoming too much. And in the last 3 months, I believe that President John Mahama is having the biggest bash of his government for seemingly allowing fires to destroy our mothers' businesses in all the markets in this country. With this view, Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity to add my voice to the matter.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, let me thank the maker of the statement, and all of you have commented on this statement. I think appropriately I will refer this particular statement to a joint committee on Defence and Interior and that of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Regional Affairs Ministry. They are to look into a recent fire outbreaks in our markets, that of Kantamanto, Asafo, Techiman, Kwadaso, Adum, and those that do not come to mind at the moment. They should look into all these markets and consider the causes of these outbreaks and possibly recommend to the House the appropriate remedies that we can adopt. I so direct.
Speaker, ever often the referrals are made, and so if I may pray for some time limits.
Very well.
If they could do so within 6 weeks.
Very well. I direct that the committees, that's Defence and Interior and that of Local Government, should report to this House the first week of the second meeting. The first week of the second meeting. I so direct.
Speaker, we are guided. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we will go back to statement item 7.
7 still, yes.
Item 7. So, honourable members, today my information is that we are closing the commentary or debate, whichever we look at it. Tomorrow we will only listen to the leaders, the 2 leaders.
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, tomorrow we will only take the 2 leaders and take the reports of the various committees. So today, more or less, we are taking the last batch of commentary.
So, Mr. Speaker. That is so.
So, honourable members, we will begin with is Honourable Osakoto here? Very well. So let's begin with you, Honourable Osakoto. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Honourable, you have 5 minutes.
I am Deputy Ranking.
You are Deputy Ranking of
Agriculture. So, please, can you give me 10 minutes?
Very well. If indeed you are Deputy Ranking, then you have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to the budget statement made by the Minister for Finance, and I'll restrict my commentary on the agriculture sector. Mr. Speaker, the government wants to address the challenges of the agriculture sector through the agriculture economic transformation agenda, which they think they can use that to create jobs. Now, the agriculture economic transformation agenda, they have a program, Feed the Nation, to address some of the challenges. And, Mr. Speaker, may I say that the agriculture economic transformation agenda encompasses programs such as establishment of farmer service centers, creation of farm banks, reintroduction of fertilizer subsidy, then supporting the youth in agriculture, then also facilitating the production of 100,000 metric tons of seed cotton, and among others. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the agriculture, food, and agri-business space, we have 3 ministries that are handling these sectors. These are Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, 2, Ministry of Agriculture, 3, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the budget of these 3 ministries, the percentage allocation of budget to these ministries is inadequate. Mr. Speaker, may I seek an indulgence to look at a paper that was presented by Professor Onuwa the day we had a workshop. Professor Onuwa from Agribusiness.
Very well.
Okay. The paper that he presented with respect to the budget allocation to these 3 ministries. If you look at the paper, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, percentage of allocation of the national budget is 0.998 in 2025, compared to 2024, where we had 1.33. Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture, 0.091, compared to in 2024, 0.132. Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, 0.291, compared to 0.450 in 2024. If you put these figures together, in 2025, the percentage funds allocated from the national budget for these 3 ministries add up to 2.85 in 2025, compared to 3.937 in 2024. This will show to you that the budget that has been allocated to the food, agriculture, and agribusiness is inadequate. Mr. Speaker, let me also remind ourselves that in June 2014, African heads of states and governments met in Malabo in Equatorial Guinea and came out of a declaration that if it is possible, at least 10% of national budget should be dedicated to agriculture sector so that you can be able to improve the lives and livelihood of our people. This has not been translated into anything. Now, if a budget is being presented in Ghana and the budget is so inadequate, if you put all the 3 ministries together, then one would be able to say that what they want to do, what I'm talking about the government wants to do in agriculture sector, I don't think it will help us in their own resetting agenda. First, if it's possible, they should look at it again. Because if 3 ministries, only 2.8% national budget is allocated to 3 in agriculture, I think something must be done about it. Mr. Speaker, may I also touch on unrealistic targets that the resetting agenda based upon what the Minister of Finance told us, if we are using agricultural economic transformation agenda to facilitate the production of seed cotton, and we are saying that we are going to produce 100,000 metric tons of seed cotton for 2025, I think it is unrealistic. Why do I say so? If you look at the cotton sector now, I would have preferred that they would have said they want to revamp the cotton sector rather to facilitate the production. If you look at the cotton sector now, since 2021, farmers haven't produced any seed cotton. And if 1 year you want to produce 100,000 metric tons of seed cotton, I think it is unrealistic. Ghana as a country, and those days was involved in cotton production. Our peak was 1998, 1999, when the country produced about 38,000 metric tons of seed cotton. From that time up to today, we have not been able to produce any seed cotton in large quantities. So if within 1 year, 2025, you come to the House to present a budget statement and you are urging that you are going to facilitate cotton production to the tune of 100,000 metric tons, I think it is very unrealistic. Mr. Speaker, having put these two together, I can say that agriculture, there is certain agenda from the current government. Looking at the certain agenda, I don't think you can make any meaningful way as far as agriculture sector is concerned. And the same people are saying that when MPP was in power, we couldn't do much with respect to agricultural activities in the country, especially trying to say that planting for food and jobs couldn't deliver the appropriate results. So I was expecting that if there's any other thing that this agenda, this certain agenda is bringing on to the country, then first there should be adequate budget to support the sector, especially when they talk about food inflation is too high. And if food inflation, you want to do something about food inflation, my expectation will be to have a big budget that can address that canker. Two, the realistic nature of their targets also. If you want to use the researching agenda to improve the cotton sector in the 5 northern regions of the country, then targets must be realistic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, let me invite Honorable Dr. Clement Apak, Deputy Minister. Do you have 15 minutes or 10 minutes? 10 minutes.
Grateful, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker Apak is okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to comment on the budget statement and economic policy of the government for the year ending 31st December 2025. Mr. Speaker, any fair-minded Ghanaian who has had an opportunity to hear the Minister for Finance, the Honorable Kesel Atuba Forson, present His Excellency John Dramani Mahamat's budget will come to one conclusion, that this is the most realistic, simplified, human-centered, and promise-keeping budget we have seen in the past 9 years. Mr. Speaker, let me dwell briefly on the educational sector and to highlight some of the content in the budget specific to improving and sustaining our educational sector and system. But Mr. Speaker, I will be remiss if I do not make some comparisons or draw the attention of Ghanaians to what persisted before the current regime came into existence. Mr. Speaker, not long ago, we were told that Ghana was going to see the establishment of smart schools. Smart schools. A launch took place with pomp and pageantry. Mr. Speaker, I want you to indulge me by indicating if you know of any part of this country where a smart school has been built. Failed promise, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometime in 2023, there was the announcement of the introduction of a one student, one tablet policy. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you today, whereas some payments have been made for about 710,000 tablets out of ostensibly 1.3 million tablets, only 250,000 tablets have been distributed. And even in the schools where the tablets have been distributed, not a single student in the Republic of Ghana is using any tablet. Mr. Speaker, another failed promise.
Honorable, hold on. Let me listen to the leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I come under Order 93.5, and I dare say that the comment made by my respected friend is to provoke debate. Mr. Speaker, he has not shown anything to the effect. There is no evidence, there is nothing. He cannot come and stand in this house, which is of a respectable nature, and be throwing figures and numbers around. Mr. Speaker, who does that? Mr. Speaker, what we have here is not what he's saying. Yes, so it is not what he's saying. So he cannot go on that tangent. Mr. Speaker, and if he goes on that tangent, then it's provoking debate. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much.
Yes, available leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I am the available leader. I think under Order 33.5, 93.5 rather, it will not suffice here because we are already debating. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I'm coming. I'm called to actually differentiate between a commentary on normal statement and a commentary of a statement on a budget. I think the distinction or the line between this is very, very, very thin. Even though we call it commentary when it comes to that of a budget, but invariably it ends up to be a debate, more or less. So, Honorable Jerry, as much as I appreciate where you are coming from, indeed, when it comes to commentary on budget, more or less it can be placed as a debate. So, for this one, I'll gloss over it. If it is a normal statement by a member, that one I'll strictly go by Order 93.5. But a statement from a whole minister for finance on a budget, so you appreciate where I'm coming from. He's a Deputy Minister of Education, yes. So obviously, we will take it like that. So let's take it.
Mr. Speaker, this matter has been settled with the guidelines that 93 will be relaxed because within our own rules, there appears to be some internal inconsistency in the use of a debate and a commentary. So your brother directed that even though it will be a commentary, will be making commentary, the sentiments inherent in 93 will be relaxed, so members can have the comfort to free flow, so that debate will not be interrupted. If my alter ego want to litigate this matter, we have long since passed.
Thank you.
So let's make progress. Honorable Saib, let's make progress.
Thank you. Honorable Deputy Minister for Education. Let's
continue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, most Ghanaians will remember the now infamous promise of providing one hot chocolate drink or one bar of chocolate to our students in the public school system. Mr. Speaker, if that has happened, it may have been yesterday, another broken promise. Mr. Speaker, in the wake of the introduction of the free senior high school program, as in the implementation of the policy, we were settled with the fact that increasing number of students were getting places in our secondary schools. And because provision was not made to accommodate them, the previous government had to introduce the obnoxious double-track system with its attendant consequences. The previous government, the previous president, had indicated in the wake of heated national debate that the double-track system would be ended before the end of his first term. Mr. Speaker, when he failed to fulfill that promise, he then went on to say that by the beginning of his second term, the double-track system would have been ended. Mr. Speaker, today as we speak, 413 secondary and TVET institutions are still practicing the double track. But Ghanaians opted for change. Good, positive change. Meaningful change that will reflect in their lives. Change that we can all feel and speak to. Consequently, the NDC government under John Dramani Mahama would bring an end to this obnoxious double-track system by a combination of strategies. One is to complete the uncompleted structures dotted on the campuses of our secondary schools. And this can be achieved because the president, who is thoughtful and understands the plight of the common Ghanaian, has done the needful by decapping GET-FUND. So GET-FUND is now going to be in a position to do what by law it is established to do. Two, we are also going to bring the private schools, secondary schools, to participate in the delivery of the policy. And as the Minister for Education has already announced, we anticipate that about 150,000 students would be channeled into the private school system, because the private schools will be included in the CSSPS. And so we believe that with a combination of strategies, in this case, adding infrastructure, funding of some of the students to the private schools, we should be able to bring normalcy to our school system. Mr. Speaker, before the 2024 election, one of the catchphrases that our opponents were known for was that John Dramani Mahama and the NDC were going to cancel free senior high school. Mr. Speaker, today's date is March 24th. And I want to ask them, has free senior high school been cancelled? In fact, John Dramani Mahama has done what is so unique and commendable. Whilst he had promised that he was going to improve and make the policy sustainable, he also pledged to find a dedicated source of funding to ensure that the program gave us the best returns. Consequently, for this year's budget, a whooping, gargantuan, colossal, magnificent 3.5 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated to finance the policy. Those who claim to be originators of the policy, the best they could do was 2.7 billion Ghana cedis. So for a man who was accused of plotting to cancel a policy, to have demonstrated his love and his commitment and the pledge he made to Ghanaians, I believe the MPP and his surrogates owe him an apology. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Deputy Minister, you must be winding up.
Mr. Speaker, before I sit, let me be quick to add that another area that we ought to call them out on and to commend John Dramani Mahama and the NDC on is
very well. Let me now invite Honorable Charles Oredu.
Ambassador. Tell them, His Excellency.
Mr. Right Honorable Speaker.
I've forgotten, I've already called.
Mr. Right Honorable Speaker.
You have 5 minutes.
Look, Mr. Speaker, I'm a deputy ranking.
You have 10 minutes.
So I'm qualified for 10 minutes.
You have 10 minutes, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to comment on the budget as read by the Finance Minister on the authority of President John Dramani Mahama. My first issue will be on this freeze on employment. Mr. Speaker, apart from the despondency that have set in amongst the Ghanaian youth that for this year none of them will be employed, I'm particularly worried about the freeze on the extension of contracts for public sector workers. My main concern is on the Ghana Health Service. Doctors that have hit 60 years and above, 61, per this policy, do not qualify to be re-engaged. Mr. Speaker, we know the situation we have in this country, especially with the doctor-patient ratio. In the Upper East region, for example, the doctor-patient ratio is 1:25,000, Mr. Speaker. In the Upper East region, in the Upper West region,
The ratio is 1:15,000. Mr. Speaker, if you come to the Brim North District, in my own constituency, Brim, we only have 3 doctors. And these 3 doctors are supposed to take care of a population of 120,000. Mr. Speaker, if a doctor at the age of 61 doesn't qualify to be re-engaged, how do we curb this doctor-patient ratio? How do we curb this situation that's confronting our health sector? The president of this country is about 64 years. Wow. President John Dramani Mahama is 64 years, and he qualifies to be the president of Ghana. Wow. So if a 61-year-old medical doctor does not qualify, if a 61-year-old medical doctor does not qualify to be re-engaged, then this is a problem. It's a big problem. I pray that this policy is reversed ASAP, because it's not going to inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian society. Mr. Speaker, the WHO recommended doctor-to-patient ratio is 1:1,000. So if we have 1:25,000, then it's a problem. Let's look at that policy. This policy must be reversed. Again, Mr. Speaker, if you look at page 80, IV of the...
Honorable Redo, hold on. Honorable Dafiamapo.
Speaker.
You see, Honorable.
Speaker, Speaker, let me make this very brief. Speaker, the statement for which members have been invited to make comments and debate some sort of is predicated on 91.3, statement by a minister. Mr. Speaker, the policy underpinnings of the budget statement is all we are debating. We are not saying, Mr. Speaker, the problem in this country is that freshly qualified medical doctors are struggling to be recruited. The top is become top heavy. People who have worked and have attained 6. Please.
Honorable
my point is that you don't make your comments degenerate into a debate, because we are saying be guided. The government has a policy to absorb freshly graduated medical doctors. Mr. Speaker, so let the member be guided by the terms of 91.3.
Honorable member,
91.3. With all
honorable leader, honorable Dafiamapo. You see, if we decide to interject on almost everything, then we can't make a headway. Please, I'm speaking. Allow me to speak. I am speaking.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, I didn't interject.
Honorable Dafiamapo, I'm speaking. You can't just speak. I mean, allow me to speak.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't interject whimsically.
Honorable Dafiamapo, I respect you.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect.
You see, will you allow me to also...
with all due respect, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, I'm a leader in Mr. Speaker, this is my 9th. Honorable member, please.
Honorable member, please. Honorable Nyako, please resume your seat.
You can show disrespect. Hold on. After all, he's a senior member of this house.
Honorable Nyako, resume your seat.
Who are you?
Mr. Speaker, I have enormous respect for you. Please. Mr. Speaker, I have enormous respect for you. I have enormous respect for the chair you occupy. And we are friends. That is the record. We are friends. You and I, we are friends. I don't do this whimsically. I am only saying you have laid down the ground rules governed by 93.5 is different from 91.3. All I am saying is that let the member be guided by the guidelines you have stated. Then we make progress. So when I rise to draw your attention to some of these matters, it's for the good of it, Mr. Speaker.
It's for the good of it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm making. What I'm saying is, you see, if you decide to actually go into this, that the person should speak into the budget, one may say, my friend Clement Apak was making reference to certain things that were not found in the budget. So that's what I'm saying. If somebody is speaking, let's allow him to speak. If there's anything you think is not factual, please draw somebody who is next online to address it so that we move on. Other than that, oh, this one is not part of the budget, and we can't go on. So, Honorable Dafema, but respectfully, that is where I'm coming from.
Speaker, yes, but you have laid out the ground rules that when leaders are on their feet, you hear them, however brief. So I'm guided. Let's make progress. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Chaswedu, continue.
Mr. Speaker, I still insist that if the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is 67 years old, I just do not understand why we have a policy that will not engage a medical doctor who is 61 years old, knowing very well that the WHO recommended doctor-to-patient ratio is 1:1,000, whilst we also have a situation where in the Upper East region, the doctor-to-patient ratio is 1:25,000. In my own district, my own constituency, I only have 3 doctors taking care of 120,000 people. We need more doctors to be able to take care of our people. So that policy, Mr. Speaker, would have to be reversed ASAP.
ASAP.
Mr. Speaker, again, I can see that on page 80, Ivan, the President who authorized the Finance Minister to make this speech on his behalf is indicating that they will be setting up a new mission in Hungary. Mr. Speaker, having served as a Deputy Foreign Minister, having served as the High Commissioner of Ghana, I know the relevance, I know the dividends that Ghana will accrue once we have this mission in place. But, Mr. Speaker, the hypocrisy here is last year when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of Ghana, had wanted to establish a mission in Mexico, this same party, led by their ranking, the current Minister for Foreign Affairs, led an onslaught to scuttle the proposal of His Excellency the President to establish a mission in Mexico. The NDC's reason was that Ghana was poor and that the decision to set up a mission in Mexico was fanciful.
Yes.
Suddenly, we have money to establish a mission in Hungary. This is the hypocrisy we are talking about. This is the hypocrisy of the NDC.
Within 3 months. Within 3 months.
Mr. Speaker, also, on page 57, the Finance Minister says that on the authority of the President, they are expecting to raise a total revenue of 224.9 billion Ghana cedis. And to them, this is an increase over last year. Last year was 186.5 billion. Of course, the Finance Minister is jubilating. The President is jubilating because they are going to rake in more revenue. But, Mr. Speaker, my issue is that an increase in revenue should not lead to an increase in poverty. An increase in revenue should not lead to an increase in poverty. The president has a record where any time revenues have increased, the poverty levels in Ghana have also increased. Mr. Speaker, if you check the Ministry of Finance budget for 2015, the total revenue that was raked in was 22.72 billion Ghana cedis. That year, the poverty rate was 21.4%. 2016, total revenue was 33.67 billion Ghana cedis. That year, the poverty rate increased to 24%. So whilst they jubilate, my fear is that consistent with this president, there's the likelihood of the poverty rate increasing. And once it increases, then we are all doomed. We are doomed. Mr. Speaker, again, the Galamsey situation is something that, as a country, we must show concern. Yesterday, or this morning, I read a piece on Joy FM where a forest guard had gone to apprehend some Galamsey guys. And that forest guard ended up with his knees and legs chopped into pieces. Mr. Speaker, when this happened, I've also heard suddenly that the blue water guards, they've started shivering. They are shivering in their spines. Because if forest guards are being chopped into pieces, then what happens? Where lies our fate? This water guard situation, Mr. Speaker, will not help us. We want the president to, as quickly as possible, declare a state of emergency. We want Mr. President to declare a state of emergency. What is happening is scary. People are being maimed. People are being killed. People's source of livelihood.
Honorable, you may wind up.
Mr. Speaker, I will join the clarion call. I think the call for Mr. President to declare a state of emergency is apt. So I would also join that call to sound the alarm that Mr. John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, please declare a state.
Thank you very much.
With these few words, Mr. Speaker,
I'm happy that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm happy that now the arrangement is said that once your time is up, it's up. The microphone will not be available for you to even speak. So thank you. Let me now invite Honorable James Agaga, who is the chairman of Defense and Interior Committee. But Chairman, you weren't here. I've made a referral to your committee.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. We shall deal with the referral.
So you have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last speaker admonished President Mahama to declare a state of emergency as a response to the Galamsey menace. Mr. Speaker, President Akufo-Addo put his presidency on the line in his quest to tackle the Galamsey menace. Unfortunately, when it became very obvious to him that he had failed in tackling Galamsey, Mr. Speaker, the narrative changed. And so when assessments are made and it becomes necessary to declare a state of emergency, President Mahama will do so without recourse to the admonitions of my honorable colleague. For now, President Mahama is doing all he can within his power to address the Galamsey menace. And we're beginning to see results. That said, Mr. Speaker, I will take my turn to debate the budget statement ably read by the Minister for Finance for and on behalf of the President.
Honorable, hold on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are confused. We have on before us the one speaker as Dominic Ayine Akurugu, but I don't think the speaker is Mr. Dominic Ayine. So I'm at loss whether the respected member is impersonating someone.
Honorable Kabiru.
So I need guidance.
Honorable Kabiru, who are you?
Mr. Speaker, I'm Kabiru Mahama.
Kabiru, speaking from where?
I'm speaking from Coach chair. Mr. Speaker, so if
you've drawn our attention to a fundamental issue. Yes. Honorable James. No, the rules are relaxed on the basis that we can term this as a debate, not the realization of the fact that you shouldn't sit on your chair. Once he has a chair, I will entreat my friend James to speak from his chair, so that we can recognize you as such.
Mr. Speaker, we are still in the transition phase. Please. Mr. Speaker, I speak as the Chief Whip. Not all members have assigned seats.
Very well.
We still have some members who are yet to be assigned their
Very
seats.
Well.
So I plead with you to allow the
wonderful
member,
James.
chair for
James, let's hear you continue. The Honorable Kabiru just wanted to distract your thought. Don't worry. Move on.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Defense did something which was very useful for our consumption. He exposed the true state of our country's economy bequeathed to us by President Akufo-Addo's outgone government. In doing so, the current state of indebtedness was brought to the fore. I am very interested in the state of affairs at the Ministry of Defense. And the other day, the Honorable Minister came to this House and took his turn to debate and actually alerted all of us to the fact that the Nana Akufo-Addo government, Bawumia government, bequeathed a colossal debt of 3.7 billion Ghana cedis to the current administration. 3.7 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, how can you saddle a ministry with such a colossal debt and expect them to deliver on their mandate? This is a very serious matter, which demonstrates the level of commitment President Akufo-Addo had for security sector governance in our country. He just couldn't be bothered about our country's security. That is why Ken Ofori-Atta was not willing to honor certificates as and when they were, presented for payments to be effected. Mr. Speaker, I was also baffled when in the course of the presentation of the budget, the Minister for Finance indicated that a number of projects had stalled. 55 of them had stalled. Most of those projects were supposed to be financed from bilateral loans, which had been contracted, most of which loans had actually been approved by this House. And Mr. Speaker, I want to relate to those particular loans which deals with the security sector. In this House, Mr. Speaker, we approved a facility for the purchase and acquisition of fighter aircraft, LN-39NG, to improve upon the combat capabilities of our Air Force. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, due to our domestic bilateral debt restructuring, which was a direct result of the reckless manner in which our economy was managed under Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, this particular facility couldn't go through. And so today, when we talk about retooling our armed forces, this House actually took measures. And I recall
how I defended the deal to the hilt, even when colleagues on this side had issues. I, having understood the nature of the problem that the armed forces were confronted with, went out of the way to defend that particular facility. Today, the aircraft have not arrived because under the bilateral debt restructuring program that the MPP led us into, that particular deal couldn't go through. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, 37 military hospital has served its purpose. But we all at some point felt that there was need for us to expand the 37 military hospital. So a facility was brought into this house, about $250 million, to expand the 37 military hospital so that it can properly serve as a UN level 4 hospital. This deal was approved by all of us. But let us ask ourselves, why was the deal not honored? Mr. Speaker, it was not honored because the economy was badly mismanaged under Kenoforiata. And so when the time came for the Chinese to honor their obligations under the contract, they said, no, you are no longer credit worthy, so we won't honor our part of the bargain. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the state of affairs. Afari Military Hospital, Mr. Speaker, Afari Military construction works actually started in 2009. In fact, in 2017, when Kenoforiata delivered his maiden budget statement, he indicated that that same year, 2017, Afari Military Hospital was going to be completed. After 8 solid years, Mr. Speaker, Afari Military Hospital is still not complete. It takes Minister Manebuama to say, under President Mohammed's administration, we will do everything within our power to commission the Afari Military Hospital to improve upon the health needs of our soldiers. Mr. Speaker, I have seen in this budget statement what President Mohammed's administration intends to do for our fire service. And let me use this opportunity to send my sympathies to the traders at the Doom Market in Kumasi, which was gutted by fire a few days ago. I've heard some of the commentary, and the impression is being created as if the NDC administration did not retool our fire service. The other day, the Minister for the Interior came to this house to respond to questions, and he made it clear that 247 firefighting engines were bought, and out of the number, not even a single one of them for the past 8 years was procured by the NPP administration. For the past 8 years, you have not added one firefighting engine to the existing fleet. So please, with the greatest of respect, next time when you are running commentary on the fire service, be minded by the fact that for 8 solid years, you did nothing for them. The last time the fire service took delivery of firefighting engines was in 2014. Under the watch of the current president.
Address me, don't address me.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. Very well. So next time, let them take a cue and comport themselves in commenting on fire outbreaks. Mr. Speaker, this budget statement captures a paragraph which deals with the construction of FOBs, forward operating bases, as part of our counter-terrorism strategy. Mr. Speaker, I want to place on record that one aspect of the strategy to deal with terrorism had to do with the initiation, or if you like, the establishment of what we call the Accra Initiative by President Akufo-Addo. It was a laudable initiative, but what happened to the initiative? The one who birthed it was also the same person who killed it, who destroyed it. He destroyed it, and how did he do that, Mr. Speaker? President Akufo-Addo traveled to Washington and, against all the protocols, appeared before the Secretary of State, at the time Anthony Blinken, and misreported on our neighbor Burkina Faso, a very important member of the Accra Initiative. in a manner that completely derailed the entire initiative. So Burkina Faso decided to pull out. Today, how can we fight terrorism without sharing intelligence with Burkina Faso? I stood in this house at the time and admonished the outgone Minister for National Security that he needed to inform President Akufo-Addo to up his game, quickly move to Burkina Faso and repair the damage he had caused. President Mahama has taken the task. He's gone to Burkina Faso. In fact, the Burkinabés were here to witness his inauguration. After the inauguration, President Mahama paid Captain Traore a visit. He was warmly received. And I'm sure under the leadership of President Mahama, we would be able to restore the Accra initiative so that we can continue to share intelligence with Burkina Faso in order to enhance our counter-terrorism strategy. Mr. Speaker, do I still have some more time so that I can relate to other matters? Very well. Mr. Speaker, like I indicated before, the police service needs to be reformed. President Mahama has appointed a new IGP and tasked him with the responsibility to ensure that our police service is reformed. As part of the reforms, Mr. Speaker, he has indicated very clearly that the welfare of personnel must be placed at the center of the attempts to reform. So I am using this opportunity to speak to our police personnel that under President Mahama, they should expect that their welfare needs are going to be well catered for. Mr. Speaker, Cap 30, which ensures an enhanced retirement package for police officers, is not going to be touched. The welfare fund is going to be enhanced. So under President Mahama, the police would witness massive reformation. Again, Mr. Speaker, let me indicate that before this House, President Akufo-Addo inflated the ranks of our officer corps. So for the first time, the Chief of Defense Staff was promoted to a 4-star general. 4-star general! Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I remarked that President Akufo-Addo, by inflating the ranks within the officer corps, had placed the cat before the donkey. Because it was under the watch of the NDC that the expansion program for our armed forces was launched. And under that program, our armed forces was supposed to be increased in terms of its personnel to at least 50,000. New units were supposed to spring up to now pave the way for the inflation in ranks of the officer corps. Having failed abysmally in expanding the armed forces, Mr. Speaker, the President came and stood before this House in his departing State of the Nation address. He then announced, proclaimed, that he had appointed the service chiefs to the rank of 3-star general or its equivalent, and the CDS to the rank of a 4-star general. When the size of our force hovers around 30,000 thereabout, we haven't met the threshold of 50,000 to have warranted such an inflation. And so, Mr. Speaker, all I want to say is that President Mahama has taken the initiative to reform the armed forces by ensuring that the ranks are commensurate with the size. The logistical needs of our armed forces are tackled very seriously so that the platforms that we had wanted to acquire under the facility that we brought before this House to bring in the LN-39 and other equipment are given to the armed forces to ensure that their combat capability is enhanced so that when the need arises, they can protect and defend the territorial integrity of our country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. He spoke for 14 minutes. It was continued. Once there's an intervention, automatically it cuts. Honorable members, let me invite Honorable Francis Usuecha. Oh, okay. Francis, hold on. Let me call your senior, Honorable Professor Kingsley Nyako. Prof, are you ranking?
Yes, we are ranking.
You are ranking.
Private members' bills and motions.
Ranking for what?
Private members' bills and motions.
Private members' bills and motions.
So
Honorable, you have 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make few comments on the budget statement and the economic policy of the government that was ably delivered to this House by the Honorable Finance Minister, Honorable Castle Atoba Forsen. Mr. Speaker, hearing my senior James Agaga lamenting, trying to suggest that the previous NPP administration didn't provide or purchase a single fire tender. Mr. Speaker, what we have on our hands right now is that we are experiencing increasing fire outbreaks in this country, especially on our markets. And the responsibility of this administration to find solutions to them. It behooves this current administration, headed by John Dramani Mahama, to find solutions to the fire outbreaks in this country. We want solutions. No more lamentations. Ghanaians are not ready for lamentations. They are ready for solutions. Please provide solutions. Mr. Speaker, I know that the previous MPP administration, who told you that governments must always provide a particular equipment? There are vehicles that the previous administration purchased that also beef up their capacity in terms of transportation. Mr. Speaker, listening to my very good friend, Honorable Kementa Park, my colleague on the Education Committee before, and I was surprised when he said that we promised to establish smart schools and that there's not a single smart school in this country. Honorable Park, you are Deputy Education Minister. I was at the conference center when Akufo-Addo launched the smart school project. Honorable Park, the concept of the smart school project was to digitalize schools in this country. We provided tablets to every teacher in this country. Mr. Speaker, we provide tablets to students in this country. This is the intention of the smart school project. And you being at the Education Ministry, I expect you to know better. Mr. Speaker, and also coming to the one tablet per student policy. I personally observed the distribution of tablets at Yas Santua Senior High School in my constituency. You go to Pemper College, they were delivered tablets. I'm saying that the schools have been given and the schools are using them. You are the Deputy Education Minister, and we don't do propaganda in this chamber. We don't. Mr. Speaker, now this double track issue, I will every second, every minute, every day, every month, every year support double track. because it is an effective utilization of other resources. I don't see any difference between the 24-hour economy they are proposing and that intervention double track. In any case, and my friend,
have you seen how your friend, the minister, is looking at you?
How will I do so?
Yes, have you seen how he's looking at you?
He's my mentor. I know this is my mentor. He's a good man. We all know that. Mr. Speaker, when I came to this house, I've learned a lot of things from him. He's a good man. Mr. Speaker, the double track. Mr. Speaker, in this country right now, we don't practice double track. At the Education Ministry, we have what we call transition calendar. Mr. Speaker, it is not every senior high school that practices double track. We have about 70% of schools that are outside double track. Only few schools are on the track. Mr. Speaker, it is because those of us sitting here, the middle class, the upper class, we want our children to go to these so-called privileged schools. None of us here we want to send our children to some of the category C and B schools. So there is pressure on the ministry, and I want to promise you, this same pressure is going to be on you. It's going to be on you. Mr. Speaker, double track, we know what it does. We know that it has increased access. In this country, we have about 1.5 million of our children at the secondary schools. Without double track, this wouldn't have been possible. These are good interventions, but because of political propaganda, we try to, talk down on this policy. It is good to decap debt fund. At least it will give us some fiscal space. We all support that. In fact, at the 8th Parliament, we tried to ensure that it was decapped. But Mr. Speaker, decapping the debt fund alone will not solve our infrastructural challenges. We will still have money. And I'll be happy if you find innovative and creative ways of getting more funds to support the education ministry, so that my good friend Hanadusu will succeed. If he succeeds, Ghana benefits, all of our benefits. When it comes to education, there is no propaganda. When it comes to education, we must all understand that it is the future of our country. Education is the soul of every country. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that this government is continuing implementation of the free senior high school. After all, they have seen the wisdom of this noble intervention that Anna Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia and the MPP introduced. At the end of the day, it benefits all of us. Mr. Speaker, this said, I don't want to go back into history. And we must be fair and realistic as politicians. The NDC promised in the year 2012 that they were going to establish training colleges in all their regions. Did it happen? It didn't happen. It's because of budgetary constraints. At times you have good intentions, but it's all about cash. You know what I mean? So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to put this on record. Mr. Speaker, I'm also happy that under Nana Akufo-Addo administration, between 2017 and 2025, a total of 182 legislations as of Parliament were passed by this House. 182 acts of Parliament, and that excludes instruments. Mr. Speaker, the same period between 2009 and 2017, under the NDC administration, only 140 acts were passed. It tells you that the NPP administration provided resources to support the improvement of parliamentary democracy in this country. Mr. Speaker, under the watch of our able speaker, Honorable Babin, Mr. Speaker, a lot of innovations happened in this parliament. And these innovations were as a result of the support the last administration gave to the Speaker of Parliament and also to to this August House. Mr. Speaker, the Parliament Citizens Bureau was established. Mr. Speaker, the Parliament Museum was also established. Mr. Speaker, reforms, including the new signing orders that we are using as a guide in this House. Mr. Speaker, for the first time, we have Parliamentary Training Institute. All this were done through the ingenuity of the last administration. And I was expecting the NDC administration to comment, Speaker of Parliament, for what is done. But none of them commented on the good works that Babin has done for this our democracy. Mr. Speaker, let me shift to the economy. I'm not an economist, but Mr. Speaker, it pains my heart when I hear my colleagues say that they inherited a wasteful economy. It pains my heart when they go on that tangent. And I want to let them understand that the NPP administration, led by Nana Akufo-Addo, bequeathed a healthy economy to John Mahama and the NDC. You cannot convince me that economy that grew by 5.7% is not a strong economy. Mr. Speaker, you cannot convince me that an economy that has gross international reserves up to 4 months, 8.9 billion, as against 5.9 billion the previous year. 4 months import cover, you cannot tell me that economy is not a strong economy. In 2016, when we took over power, we were doing below 3 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, our debt in this country has not been static. The NDC would add to our debt portfolio. Go and check the historical trend. Our debt has been increasing. When we took over power in 2017, I remember that our debt to GDP ratio was 76%. It was when we rebased the economy that it came to 56%. It was 76%. As we speak right now, Mr. Speaker, our debt to GDP ratio has declined to 61.8%. You cannot tell me that this economy is not strong. Mr. Speaker, you cannot convince me, Kingsley Nyako, that an economy that is able to pay your salary, able to pay the salary of Ghanaians, is not a strong economy. You cannot tell me all the committees you've established, they are paid, they are giving allowances. John Mahama, the president, he travels. How does he get money to do all these things? An economy that is able to give a base pay of 10% to workers, as against 25% in 2024, you cannot tell me that this is not a strong economy. We can do all the propaganda, but the facts are there. Facts are sacred, comments are free. I'm saying that facts are sacred, but comments are free. For me, I'm happy. And my point is that what you have inherited, it behooves on you to build upon it. You have to strengthen it. You have to make Ghana better, because you make a country, an economy that is so strong. Mr. Speaker, I'm holding in my hands their own budgets. Mr. Speaker, the real sense of the economy, agriculture, industry, and service. Check your budgets. They all saw an increase. In the year 2016, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the agricultural sector, you left a growth of 2.7%. At least when we are exiting, we left to 2.8%. This is an improvement, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you take industry, for example, they left in 2016 4.3%. Mr. Speaker, we have left 7.1%. You cannot tell me that this is weak. Mr. Speaker, when you look at services, they left a paltry 2.8% in 2016. That as we speak, the service sector grew by 5.9%. This is the real sector of the economy. How can you convince Ghanaians that you didn't? You see, if you cannot do the job, tell us. If you cannot do the job, tell us, and we'll show you how to do it. Mr. Speaker, this is parliamentary democracy. And I believe that the NPP is out of power now. The NDC has the mandate now to govern. But Mr. Speaker, they are misgoverning. Mr. Speaker, look at what is happening in this country. In this budget, we have been told that we are going to see rationalization, job cuts, unemployment is going to increase per their budget. Mr. Speaker, very soon in the budget, they've indicated that we are going to experience massive tariff adjustment in December. What does that mean? It means that Ghanaians should base out for increases in the use of power. It is in their own budget. Gas prices are increasing and all that. Mr. Speaker, I won't wind up. because truth must be told. Mr. Speaker, truth must be told, Mr. Speaker. My point is that we are going to hold you in account. We are going to make sure that you do right, that you govern to meet the aspirations and desires of the Ghanaians.
Thank you. Professor, thank you. Your time is up.
We are good friends.
Thank you, Professor Nyako. Thank you.
Thank you for indulging me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Kwame Obiasari. You have 10 minutes, eh?
Some of this mic is on. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Why?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Kwame, what's your standing in terms of position? Is it the ranking or deputy ranking or chairman or deputy chairman?
Mr. Speaker, my position is per your catching of your eye and what time you give me. And Mr. Speaker, I'm in your hands.
Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. My focus will be on strategy to transform Ghana's economy through the 24-hour economy program and how we can deal with our enclave economy. And as a member of the Committee for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of the Ninth Parliament, I also look at how we can leverage the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement for sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, in the landmark case of Tufo versus Attorney General, Justice Soa, who was the Chief Justice at the time, delivered a historic judgment that reinforced the supremacy of our Constitution. In fact, he stated, and I quote, "The Constitution has a spirit, and its language must therefore be considered as if it were a living organism capable of growth and development." Mr. Speaker, the aforesaid statement by Justice Soa applies to the 2025 budget. In fact, it must not be seen as mere figures, but as a living blueprint with a spirit or even a soul. It carries the hopes of struggling Ghanaian families, the dreams of young entrepreneurs, and the fate of critical national policies and programs. If this budget is implemented with sincerity, it has the ability to breathe life into the economy that they put on life support. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, we declared a trade surplus of 44.7 billion. Out of the 44.7 billion, we exported about 294 billion and a total import of 250.2 billion. Ghana recorded this trade surplus. However, I agree with those who say our economy is an enclave economy because most of our resources is coming from raw materials which we export without adding value. And the President, in his wisdom, has seen that we exported about 162 billion representing about 55.3% of our total exports in gold to foreign countries. We exported about 52.58 billion in crude. We exported raw cocoa beans about 21.55 billion. And Mr. Speaker, this did not impact our economy that much because we just exported it. All the companies exporting are foreign owned and they keep the money in foreign banks and foreign institutions. And that is why most of the mining communities are underdeveloped or poor. And this is why, if you look at the budget for 2025, at page 54, it says that what it implies is that the government will implement a 24-hour economy to boost industrial production, trade, and jobs. If you summarize page 33 and 34, what it says is that the focus will be on reducing imports by encouraging local manufacturing of essential products, and key sectors include agro-processing, pharmaceutical, and textiles to improve Ghana's self-sufficiency. If you look at page 55, it says that Ghana will establish a gold board to ensure that we are refining our gold instead of taking it out in raw. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the year 2024, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the year 2024, we exported about 40% of the 11.6 billion to the United Arab Emirates in raw gold. We didn't add value and we didn't make more out of it. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the question our colleagues on the other side should be asking is that if we are employing more to produce more, where is the market? Mr. Speaker, this is not.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, you have 1 minute. You didn't say anything.
So I give you 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, the question our colleagues on the other side must be asking is that if you are going to employ more to produce more, where is the market? Because our economy is not big enough to absorb all that we are going to produce. And the answer is with them because in 2018, on the 10th of May, Ghana and Kenya were the first countries to ratify the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And so they shouldn't be looking at Ghana only, we should be looking outside Ghana because the agreement allows us to produce here and take to other countries duty-free. Mr. Speaker, the population of China is 1.4 billion. The population of Africa is 1.4 billion. But the GDP of Africa is 3.4 trillion, and the GDP of China is 17 trillion. And what is worse is that the population of EU is about 449 million, but their GDP is about 20 trillion because they are adding value, they are employing many people to. Thank you very much.
Very well. Let me now come to Honorable Francis Osuechan. But before you speak, kindly indulge me 5 minutes to suspend the House. 5 minutes.
Sorry. Uncle.
This is where they collect water. You mean till date?
No. When the pipe bomb came, they stopped collecting it. And when I came here, it was filled with dirties. You can imagine. So I have to go inside there and bring all these dirties out.
You've done a good job, yeah, admittedly. If everything you're telling me is what it is, from how the place looked till now.
Don't worry, I'll show you on the banner. I'll show you the pictures.
Good. Now we've seen the system,
but
there's a room behind it.
Let's go.
What's in this room? Again, we've not moved 100 meters past the main entrance. Okay.
Welcome to my office.
Thank you.
Of Ghana Museums and Women Board.
Thank you.
I'm a security over here.
Okay.
At the same time, tour guide. At the same time, labor.
You're all in all.
That's all.
Is it that you don't have hands here? There's no one to help you?
Not at all.
You're the only one.
I was brought here alone.
Is it that the museum's board doesn't want to send people here, or there are no people? What's
well, for that one, unless you meet my directors.
But have you requested before?
Oh, why should I request? As they know the work over here.
They've been here several times?
At times.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that conversation for some other day.
Very good. I like that.
Thank you.
If you meet my boss, then you continue with me. Yeah. All right. Maybe you ask about this woman over here.
You want to tell me about her?
She's one of our directors from the head office.
Okay.
And honestly, she's the one taking care of the forts and castles, I mean, the environment and other things, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, this woman is very good. I will say it and say it again. I will say it and say it again.
Would you want to mention her
She's
name?
able to come here at least by 6 times in a year from Accra. Yes.
6 times?
In a year.
Oh, wow.
Yes, to inspect.
We have experienced this in this country. It happened in 2018, to be specific, with the JIDA scandal, where certain persons were arraigned before the High Court, tried, convicted, and sentenced. And it is interesting to note that at the end of the day, after the conviction of the said persons, my own good friend, leader of the House as well as leader of government business in the person of Mahama Ayariga, came out with some profit, some very, very good solutions. What is interesting again is that the situation at the time, comparing that to the situation now, is no different. We are not comparing apples to oranges. We are comparing apples. At the time, certain huge amounts had been allocated by the Kufuor government for certain good projects. He came out and he criticized them badly, but then proffered very, very good solutions. I would want to go back to the solutions that he proffered, and I will conclude after that. One, he suggested that the private members' bill be introduced to amend the Procurement Act to prohibit sole sourcing. Two, that Parliament promulgates laws for the following: to regulate contracts and modules that had been rolled out by the National Youth Employment Authority. 3, that GET Fund be regulated, the criteria for the award of scholarships be regulated. Again, that the criteria for the award of loans by Maslock also be regulated. Then again, on the school feeding program, he asked for a law to regulate the criteria for the award of those contracts.
Finally, he asked for a law to regulate the supply of food to the free senior high school concept. If you look at this current budget, if we would apply some of these solutions that have been proffered, it would inure to the benefit of the taxpayer. At the end of the day, it is the taxpayers' money, and managers of the public fund should manage them effectively and properly to inure to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaian. But all these are missing. If you look at the hefty sums that have been allocated, if we are not careful, we are likely to run into problems, since we would have a second JIDA in this country. As a house, I would urge upon us that we open our eyes, that we listen closely from this moment. If we want the policies to work, we need to be effective by promulgating laws that would make sure that people do not squander these monies just for them to go to court and be convicted and sentenced. The country does not benefit from that. It will just deter other people from doing so. But these are good monies, and I would wish that the areas, the sectors that are going to be in charge of these monies would go by regulations as Mahama Yaga proffered at the time. I believe that if this is done, we would not only have regulations, but we would have detailed and proper policy documents, which at the moment is missing from the budget. This is my very, very brief submission. I am grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So we will turn to Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways. Oh, you're not ready? They've given you a name here.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I brought in a new list of which we took off his name. So in place of the road minister, we'll let the communication minister present the sector.
I don't have the communication minister here. He's not
so
on
I'm
my
making
list.
a new application to you.
And he is not on the list of the later one you submitted. So
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I'm begging you to, in place of the road minister, let's take the communication minister. He's prepared to speak today. And we all know tomorrow leaders will wind up.
Right, okay, let me go to Honorable Sam George. No, I could stay after Sam George.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker.
You have 15 minutes. You are a Minister of State. Granted, come and stand. But you have a lot of questions to come and answer. That one, you stand here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to Article 179 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and the Public Financial Management Act, Mr. Speaker, we respectfully present to this august House the outlook for 2025 for the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry, by an executive instrument of His Excellency the President, has been redesignated the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations. Mr. Speaker, the vision of the ministry is to ensure that we have a digitally inclusive, data-driven ecosystem in the country. Mr. Speaker, the budget has outlined the great innovative ideas that the President wants for us to pursue this year. However, it's important that we state that, Mr. Speaker, we have inherited a ministry that is deeply challenged. Mr. Speaker, I did not even find bones to take the marrow out of. Just to give you a typical example, the NCA, which is one of our flagship agencies, was able to pay $64.5 million the last time the NDC was in government for the DTT platform to be built. Mr. Speaker, when I took over the ministry, the NCA's bank balance, complete bank balance, was $1 million. Mr. Speaker, the National IT Agency had its bank balance of 25 Ghana cedis, 8 pesos. Meanwhile, the same agency, Mr. Speaker, has a debt sitting on its book of 813,486,505 Ghana cedis, 89 pesos. Mr. Speaker, I will repeat that again for the records. The debt at NITA, the National IT Agency, is 813,486,505 Ghana cedis, 89 pesos. Meanwhile, the bank balance of NITA is 25 Ghana, 8 pesos. Mr. Speaker, this is what has been handed over to us. Mr. Speaker, the complete debt portfolio at the Ministry of Communication is in excess of 6 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, and this House will remember that the previous government we've inherited from told us that they had acquired Airtel Tigo for $1. Mr. Speaker, at the right time, I will come and present to this House the details of that transaction. But let it be on the record that government claimed, under the previous government claimed to have bought Airtel Tigo for $1, but took it with a debt portfolio of $220 million. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the last meeting I had before coming to Parliament was with a U.S. ambassador. And I'm sure those of you who have followed the news have seen a U.S. senator say that the IMF should not disburse to Ghana the next tranche because we owe ATC $220 million debt. Yet the previous government told us they bought it for $1. Mr. Speaker, however, we have a president who is visionary and has given us the way forward. We are going to build a digitally resilient economy. The growth of ICT in our country will be matched under this administration with the right regulatory and policy framework. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the legislation in the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation should not be in the ministry, it should be in a museum. Reason being that it is outdated, it is not fit for purpose, and it is past its prime. Mr. Speaker, to put this in perspective, the Ghana Telecoms Act was passed in 2003. Mr. Speaker, that is 22 years old in an IT sector. The Data Protection Act was passed in 2012, 13 years old. Electronic Communications Act was passed in 2008. Mr. Speaker, 17 years old. The Electronic Transactions Act, 2008, 17 years old. The National Communications Act of 2008, 17 years old. The Postal and Courier Services Regulatory Commission Act, 2003, 22 years old. Mr. Speaker, this is what we have inherited. Mr. Speaker, on the back of this, we have a lack of adequate governance which poses challenges such as data security, privacy, economic inclusion, intellectual property rights, and digital sovereignty. Mr. Speaker, in line with this, I will be coming to this House with legislation to review and revamp all of this legislation, 7 of them, before the next meeting of Parliament comes to an end. And we want to seek the indulgence of the House to expedite action for us to pass this bill. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry intends to roll out our 1 million coders project. The 1 million coders project is an ambitious, in fact, it is per capita the most ambitious project on the continent of Africa. Because the only other country that is planning to do anything like this is Nigeria, which is planning to train 3 million ICT people out of a population of 300 million. We are training 1 million out of a population of 33 million. And so this is the most ambitious plan. Mr. Speaker, in the last 5 weeks, we have laid out the column for it. And Mr. Speaker, 100 million Ghana cedis has been allocated as seed fund in the 2025 fiscal year budget for it. As part of rolling out that, we will be doing the training in all 264 districts in the country, and also using our flagship digital youth village at the University of Ghana, Legon. When completed, this digital youth village will serve as a center of excellence for learning, innovation, and creativity in the digital space. Once again, the visionary President John Dramani Mahama and the hardworking Minister for Finance have dedicated 86 million Ghana cedis for the completion of the digital youth village. Mr. Speaker, it is important that we bring Ghana up to speed when it comes to cybersecurity. We are fully aware of the incidents that happened in the past week with the X account of His Excellency the President. But our resilience and our strength as an institution helped us to recover that account within 24 hours, working with our international partners. However, Ghana must come to the place where we have the capacity to react even quicker. Mr. Speaker, we will be strengthening our cybersecurity authority with support from the Ghana Digital Acceleration Project, and will establish 3 sectoral sets for education, health, and transport respectively. Mr. Speaker, it is also important to understand that Ghana is going to a place where we're going to be digitally inclusive and data-driven with a Smart Data Initiative. Our Smart Data Initiative looks to introduce the breaking down of data silos to allow for us to have a data exchange hub, which will allow the Ministry of Finance to make data-driven analytic solutions and decisions instead of those driven by sentiments. Mr. Speaker, our focus as a ministry is to create digital jobs and make Ghana the epicenter of the business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing ecosystem. To do this, we're going to foster active Ghanaian participation in key sectors such as telecommunications, fintech solutions, data governance, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence by creating capacity building programs, promoting local talent, and facilitating public-private collaborations. We will review the capital integrity requirements for non-deposit taking financial tech firms and promote the role of fintech in poverty reduction. We will not limit ourselves to fintech, Mr. Speaker, but we will explore innovation using our regulatory and innovation sandbox in areas such as agri-tech, insurtech, edutech, and health tech. We would establish a robust and institutional framework to facilitate the effective regulation of fintech, where we would oversee the $50 million Fintech Development Fund. Mr. Speaker, another project of concern is the Rural Telephony Project, and members of this House have filed many questions about quality of service in their communities, in their constituencies. It is important that we complete the project. Between 2022 and 2025, Mr. Speaker, 1,477 towers were completed, with 1,010 under Phase 1A and 467 under Phase 1B. This year, the ministry has made an allocation of 147 million Ghana cedis for us to complete the outstanding 539 rural telephony sites. Mr. Speaker, as a government, we are committed to revamping the Ghana Post Company to make it an efficient postal delivery service, and we will rehabilitate and digitize the operation of 200 of our post offices to enable them to provide e-services to customers. The NCA, as a regulator, will continue its work in cleaning up the spectrum fiber. And Mr. Speaker, I will be coming to this House very soon to properly brief the House on the closure of radio stations, the reasons for the suspension of those licenses, and the outstanding radio stations whose licenses will be suspended for breaches of regulation. And we will lay out the remedial measures that we'll be taking to get the support of this House. Mr. Speaker, a thriving ICT ecosystem is vital for our social, economic, and cultural development, and we must, as a country, prepare ourselves for the fourth industrial revolution of artificial intelligence. With John Mahama at the helm of affairs, and with my good self, Mr. Speaker, leading the ministry, you are rest assured that Ghana is in safe hands digitally. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. He made it in 11, 12 minutes. That's good. My side, who is? Yes. We have Honorable Neskumi is not here. Honorable Animedu is not here. Honorable Nim is not here. Kenneth Damwa is also not here. Yes, so.
Mr. Speaker, I respectfully want to void the order of proceedings so that we come back to the main order paper for Energy Committee to lay their report so that we'll continue with the debate.
Which one?
H, item H on the original order paper.
Chairman of Energy.
Page 4.
Yes. So, honorable members, Chairman, I haven't called you. Honorable members, let's turn to page 4. Page 4, item listed H. Chairman of the Committee of Energy.
Okay. Report of Committee on Energy on the annual budget estimate of the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition for the year ending 31st December 2025.
Honorable members, the report has been duly laid. I direct that the report is distributed to honorable members. Any more? Then let me now invite the Minister for Transport, Roads and Transport, to also take his bite on the budget commentary. Yes, Honorable Minister, you have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The designation is Road and Highways. My colleague, Honorable Nipe, is Minister of Transport. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to make these few comments on the budget statement as read by the Minister responsible for Finance on behalf of President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, with regard to the roads and highways portion of the budget outlined the debt as of the time of the budget and some of the challenges and the things we intend to do as a government in this fiscal year. Mr. Speaker, as I've previously said, the debt, and I will take time to explain debt and commitment. Commitment is all projects that have been duly awarded on site and are yet to be completed. But the debt is what we have already done and certified but not paid for. So from the commitment, you go to the debt. As of the time of the budget, the commitment was 105 billion Ghana cedi, and then the debt is 21 billion. Mr. Speaker, compare that to 2017, where the commitment was 17 billion and the debt was under 3 or just about 3 billion. But Mr. Speaker, I can understand both the 2016 situation and then 2024 situation. It's simply because many people in our country are demanding for better roads to their communities. But there's a way we can do this in a bit more sustainable way, because Mr. Speaker, if I also just basically go to the ministry and start awarding projects without knowing how we are going to pay for it, by the end of this month, I can raise the 105 billion to 200 billion commitment. Of course, the demand or the files on my table asking for award, if I add all of them, I can easily add 5 billion within a month. But I don't think that is sustainable enough. So we will try to do things in a better way. Mr. Speaker, there is also a situation that we must take note of. Majority of contractors are not on site, not because they don't want to work, but because they have worked, raised certificates, and the state is unable to honor our part of the contract. So sometimes it is not very fair to unfairly talk about contractors not on site, because many of them have invested heavily from their private resources, and we are unable to pay them. Mr. Speaker, as part of the reset, these are some of the things that we have decided to do as a government. As you know, Mr. Speaker, this, at least my side, when we were in opposition, actually was unhappy with the previous government's unilateral decision to suspend the collection of road toll. And I'm very happy to say that from what I see today, both sides of the House are united in the quest to reintroduce tolls. And then my report to you today is that we have done 2 of the stages. Stage 1, which is the production of the concept note, which have been sent to Ministry of Finance and approved. Stage 2 is the recruitment of the transaction advisor, which is ongoing. And stage 3 will be the receipt of the bid of the would-be service providers. Mr. Speaker, we intend to carry out this in an open, competitive bidding. I am not going to call a friend or anybody and say, bring your proposal to me. So if you are listening to me and you have a proposal for the road, the introduction of the electronic tolling system, please don't come and make any presentation to me. Wait, when the bid is open, you can present your proposal to the committee. I am not involved in the assessment of those bids. Mr. Speaker, we also intend to increase our routine maintenance activities across the country. If we can get funds, we need to do a bit more before the rain set in, and we are committed to do that. Mr. Speaker, we believe our portfolio of 105 is too much, so we want to rationalize and find out whether some of these...
Minister, can you hold on a bit for me whilst I do the changing order to the first Deputy Speaker?
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was on the point that I think the road portfolio of 105 billion is unsustainable. So we are going through a process of rationalization. Because, Mr. Speaker, we've noticed that some projects, though on our books have been awarded, the contractors never turned up on site and have no intention of doing so. I think it's appropriate we take some of those projects off our books so that we can have the true reflection of what our contracts actually being done. Mr. Speaker, this, my side of the House, when we were in opposition, did not see the need for capping of road fund. Today, when you cap road fund those days, basically what happens is contractors raise their certificate, you don't pay them. And then they charge you interest on delayed payment, and then you now give them back part of what is the capped amount. So we are very excited that the Finance Minister, on the authority of President Mahama, have decided to decap road fund. Immediately, what it gives us is the full complement of the accruals, which is 2.8 billion Ghana cedi. That would not wipe out the indebtedness of 5.7 billion as we speak, but it would make a lot of impact on our debt portfolio, and so we are grateful for that. We also want to reduce sole sourcing. Mr. Speaker, the temptation is always there for government to always run to site or ask a contractor to go to site and start work even before we do design and costing. We would use that process as an exception, not the norm, to reduce the cost of projects. Mr. Speaker, the as a load regime in our country is also not fit for purpose. The as a load regime was not intended to be an IGF. It was not intended to raise funds from drivers. It was rather supposed to be a deterrent. But it is when you breach the law that you are supposed to pay the penalty. But it appears that some drivers have become so recalcitrant that they don't really care. They will rather overload and then pay the penalty. Mr. Speaker, I've ordered an investigation into the entire as a load regime, and then we would make the report available, and then the decision will be taken as to whether we'll continue operating the as a load regime the way it is now, or we need a different way of doing it. Mr. Speaker, another issue that came here recently was the NRA, National Road Authority Act. Mr. Speaker, government has no intention of scrapping the act, and we've never said that anywhere. However, in the course of the implementation of this act, certain sections of entities under the Roads and Highway Ministry were not happy with certain things, and then they escalated the disagreement to National Labour Commission. Mr. Speaker, the Commission directed the Ministry to suspend the implementation and resolve the issue with the staff. Mr. Speaker, we've had 2 meetings already. We are scheduled to have another one this week. And Mr. Speaker, hopefully we shall deal with that matter, and then the act will be fully operationalized. There's nothing in that act that suggests to me that we need to come to the House to change, because it has nothing to do with the act. It has got to do with rather their internal issues about leadership and other things, and I think we can resolve that. Mr. Speaker, the other thing we want to do as a government to improve infrastructure is the President's flagship Big Push agenda. And Mr. Speaker, the Big Push agenda is supposed to identify, develop, prepare, and launch high-profile projects that have got impactful references on our country. So, for instance, Mr. Speaker, at the moment, from the road sector, some of the projects we are considering under the Big Push is the Accra-Kumasi Expressway, the Kumasi Outer Ring, Accra Outer Ring, Dambai Bridge, and also Eche Amanfo Bridge, the Accra-Takoradi Expressway, Bolgawa Highway, the Tamale Outer Ring, the completion of Eastern Corridor, Techima-Wa, Aflau Ho, and Tema Aflau Road. Mr. Speaker, I can say that some of these projects, sections on some of these alignments are already under contract. So the idea is to take the whole stretch and complete it so that we can get these roads completed. Mr. Speaker, finally, what I want to talk about is the status of stalled projects. Mr. Speaker, almost every project we approved in this House from 2020 till 2024 as either part of a concessional agreement or commercial agreement have stalled. None of those projects is currently ongoing. Talk about the road between the motorway and Central University by BHM has stalled. The road between Ashama Runabout and Akosombo by INZAG has stalled, and many others because of the debt restructuring. Mr. Speaker, we are exploring the possibility of understanding the way forward because, Mr. Speaker, I noticed that whilst many of these projects have stalled, some developers are sitting on site and calculating attendance and passing it on to us. In one occasion, I projected and told the developer that if we continue to keep you on site, in 5-6 years' time, we would have paid the entire contract sum as charges without even getting 1 kilometer of road for it. Mr. Speaker, I would strongly recommend to government that if the developer has no capability of drawing down the money, we terminate and look for another an alternative way of funding this project. But, Mr. Speaker, for the road between Motorway and Central University, the road between, how do you call it, the Motorway and then Akosombo, the Ofankor Road have all been programmed as priority projects to be completed, even under this terrible economic situation. So I want to encourage the developers that they are priority projects to us, and we are going to work together to complete them. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank colleagues who have been asking numerous questions about their roads and everything. But, Mr. Speaker, everybody in this House is aware that the budget we have is not commensurate to the demands we are placing on ourselves. So everybody ought to be realistic about it. We will do as much as we want to do, including deputy minority leaders constituency. I was in Kumasi and I realized that, Mr. Speaker, without a doubt, Kumasi has come to a gridlock just like Accra, and we need to make some intervention. That is why when I visited the site of the Swami interchange, which unfortunately has also been caught up in this problem, we are intending to see if we can complete the 2 viaducts. That is the first and the second level as a priority, and launch it and see whether it addresses part of the congestion. And then when we find money in the future, we can complete the rest. Mr. Speaker, finally, I also noticed that there's too much problem with compensation. For instance, the, the Kumasi project, there's a potential compensation to one entity on that project in excess of 100 million Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, I don't think it's appropriate. If we have 100 million Ghana cedi, we can have better ways of spending that money in Kumasi. So I ask the engineers, you are engineers, think of a solution that ignores or runs away from paying a compensation of 100 million Ghana cedi, because that will not be, a very good way of spending taxpayers' money. Mr. Speaker, with this, I want to thank the Minister responsible for finance for a very hopeful budget. And as long as we all adhere and are disciplined in whatever we do with public funds, I hope we can improve on the situation we find ourselves. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways. I will then proceed to give the floor to Honorable Galamsey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The way I wanted to go with my debate, I think I'm losing power because it's only my own mother, Mama Pat, that is there. And the front bench is just my mother and my sister.
Honorable member, you address her as Honorable Patricia Apiaje or Deputy Minority Leader.
That's what I said, Honorable. Okay.
There is nothing like Mama Pat known to our rules book.
I redraw. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether it is a different MPP that we have or the same MPP. Because today, I don't know where they are getting all these lofty ideas from. They've been in power for 8 years. I don't think they have the moral right to criticize this very innovative budget of ours. Mr. Speaker, they've been in power for 8 years and they've messed the whole system. We cannot use, or His Excellency President Mahama cannot use 3 months to fix the mess that they've caused for the past 8 years. I am pleading that you should accord us some level of respect and allow Ghanaians to judge at the end of the day. You had 8 years. For the past 8 years, when you were in power, you first of all brought your relatives from the Western world, that is abroad. You came, some of them were plumbers over there, some of them were taxi drivers, some of them were carpenters. You brought them and branded them as professionals for us with funny English. The ordinary Ghanaian could not understand them. Why would you fail? Mr. Speaker.
Are you chairman ranking or vice deputy?
Today,
then you have 5 minutes.
No, Mr. Speaker.
You have 5 minutes to contribute.
I was the available leader for 1 hour, so at least 8 minutes. Today I was the available leader for...
You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, you are here talking about employment. 2017 to 2019, you collapsed almost 9 banks, or more than 9 banks that you collapsed. You collapsed 9 banks and collapsed 150 microfinance and savings and loans companies. You claim that they were insolvent, but we all know very well that you collapsed some companies which were not insolvent. That is the beginning, that is the beginning of collapsing our economy. You could have used 8 to 9 million to fix the whole system, but you rather decided to use 8 to 9 billion rather to fix the system, but you rather went and decided to use 28 million, more than 28 million, 28 billion to collapse our local banks. That is the genesis of our problems. We are talking about employment. As I said earlier, you don't have the moral right, because we were all in this country when you decided to embezzle our 2 million Ghana cedis in the name of Sky Train. MPP Moyebio, where is the Sky Train? That $2 million.
Honorable member, conclude. What is the meaning of MPP Moyebio?
That means MPP, you've done enough. Mr. Speaker, we were all in this country. We were all in this country when you squandered $12 million in the name of Palugu multipurpose dam. Meanwhile, you couldn't even know the block, single block over there. MPP.
Honorable member, on the floor will speak English. In a situation where you speak a language other than English, the rule requires that you interpret in English.
Mr. Speaker, that's why.
Remember, your time is up. I proceed to give the floor to Ohene Kwame Frimpong. Ohene Kwame Frimpong. Well, Honorable Eric Adam.
Mr. Speaker,
yes, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the discussion on the 2025.
Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we had an agreement, and I think names were mentioned. If Adam is the Honorable Adam was supposed to be the second person that we agreed on, but I think my friend has conveniently ambushed and slated in Honorable from Agogo, which is not acceptable. So we have agreed on just 2 speakers.
2 speakers.
Yes, please.
Then,
so we should rather.
So, majority, Deputy Majority Whip, why did you give me 3 names when you agreed on 2?
Mr. Speaker, what the Deputy Leader is saying is right. We wanted to present 2 people. One will speak for 15 minutes, the other one 5 minutes. So we thought it wise to split it for 3 people to speak 5 minutes. So, Mr. Speaker, we are still operating within the 15 minutes. So 3 people will do 5 minutes to make up the 15 minutes.
But did you reach out?
Mr. Speaker, that was where I erred, because I wanted to raise the issue, but it's like she was enjoying the debate. So I wanted her to listen to Adaku. So
Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
So I
you saying that it will still be the same 15 minutes. She had 5.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we agreed on 2 members of Parliament.
Exactly.
5 minutes each.
Exactly.
That's what we agreed on. Thank you.
So, Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Deputy Whip, if you are able to negotiate, I can mention the 3rd one. But if not, you have to adjourn the House.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I appreciate your time and the fact that I am an independent candidate. I think that if I'm given for this opportunity, I really appreciate it. Well, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you once again for the opportunity to contribute to the discussion on the 2025 budget statement and economic policy. Today, I want to highlight 3 key social intervention programs that continue to make a difference in the lives of many Ghanaians. The Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, LEAP, the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, and the School Feeding Program. Mr. Speaker, presently, this government has taken bold steps to uplift the most vulnerable among us, the elderly, orphans, and persons with disabilities, by expanding the LEAP program. The number of beneficiary households will rise from 350,000 to 400,000, and the funding will increase by an impressive 30.8%. This isn't just about numbers, it's about ensuring that those who need help the most receive meaningful support. I believe the government is not merely offering relief, but restoring dignity and security to those at risk of economic hardship. Mr. Speaker, 740 households in Asante Achim North benefit from the LEAP program. The 30.8% increase in benefits and expansion to 400,000 households by July 2025 shows that this government's dedication to lifting the vulnerable out of poverty is at its prime. Mr. Speaker, the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, is getting a major boost with 9.93 billion Ghana cedis in funding, thanks to the uncapping of the National Health Insurance Levy. This translates into better access to essential medicines, vaccines, and healthcare services. Even more impactful is the rollout of free primary health care, ensuring that basic medical care comes at no cost to the most vulnerable. No Ghanaian should have to choose between putting food on the table and seeking medical care. This intervention makes sure they don't. Mr. Speaker, feeding our children well is not a luxury, it's a necessity. That is why the school feeding program budget has been increased by 33% from 1.344 billion Ghana cedis to 1.788 billion Ghana cedis. More significantly, the per-child meal cost has risen from 1 cedi 50 pesos to 2 Ghana cedis. A long overdue adjustment that will enhance meal quality, encourage school attendance, and ease the financial strain on parents. Hungry children cannot learn, and a nation that neglects its children's nutrition mortgages its future. Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, 16,189 students benefit from the school feeding program. The 33% increase in funding, 1.788 billion Ghana cedis in 2025, will ensure healthier meals. And my constituents are grateful for this commitment to our children's well-being. Mr. Speaker, the 1.5
Leaders, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, the presenter is copiously reading. This is a debate. Honorable member, don't read, please debate.
Honorable member, his time is up. So
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
your time is up. You can take objection when the person's time is up. You do that when he is speaking. Yes, Richard Achampong.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
No, yes.
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
You can now take Honorable Rekedo.
Okay. Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I've actually agreed for Edem to contribute for the simple fact that it's a first time, and I want to encourage him to that.
Honorable.
But otherwise, it would not have been fair for us when we make an agreement. I expect
the agreement must be respected.
On the side
yes. Honorable Eric Adam Agbana, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And let me extend my appreciation also to the Deputy Minority Leader for generously ceding her position and allowing me to speak. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to the debate on the 2025 budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, as a development finance analyst, there are some key questions that we ask whenever a government presents a budget. Because beyond revealing the revenue and expenditure in this document, the budget also must answer some key questions, including whether or not wealth redistribution is adequately stated in the budget. We also use this to see how the fiscal responsibility and credibility of the government is catered for in the budget, and also it helps us to better understand the overall policy direction of the government. Mr. Speaker, having gone through this budget as presented by the Finance Minister, Dr. Castle Atoba Forsen, I must say it is a budget that meets all requirements, and it's a budget that indeed revives hope in us as young people of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, let me begin with the education sector, and I will say briefly that with the budgetary allocation to the education sector, it represents 11.89%. It tells you that government is committed to ensuring that SDG 4, which is about ensuring that accessibility, quality, and affordability is achieved in education, is catered for in this budget. And so President Mahama has demonstrated his commitment to the achievement of SDG Goal 4. Again, when you talk about issues of unemployment, Mr. Speaker, I believe that this budget has adequately made provision for the creation of jobs. I have heard my colleagues on the other side, the NPP minority, made arguments about a net freeze on employment. But indeed, Mr. Speaker, one thing that they refuse to let the media know is that the very paragraph that they refer to and say there is a freeze on employment is a paragraph that states that government will ensure that all conditionalities in the IMF agreement are met. We all know, and it is trite knowledge, that the IMF conditionality or the program that we refer to is a program that they sign on to. And Mr. Speaker, I must say that when you go to 2022-2023 budgets presented by the previous administration, this same paragraph was there, because as part of the IMF conditionalities, there was a net freeze on employment. But President Mahama did not only promise employing young people into the civil service or into the public sector. He promised to create sustainable jobs. Now, in this budget, various allocations have been made to cater for job creation. I will start with the 100 million allocated for the National Codex Program. The Honorable Minister for Communications has already mentioned. Mr. Speaker, the 100 million Codex Program is an innovative and transformational program that will raise 1 million young people, young coders. These people will be equipped with digital skills and they will be able to generate jobs on their own. We all live, Mr. Speaker, we all live in a digital economy, and the youth bulge in Africa, where predictions are that by 2030, about 2 billion of Africa's youth populations will be young people. It is only through these digital skills that they can be self-sustaining and create jobs for themselves. We also have another 300 million allocated for National Apprenticeship Program. Mr. Speaker, when you come to a constituency like mine...
Honourable member, conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When you come to a constituency like mine, Ketu North, there are many young people who wish to learn various skills, like they want to be tailors or seamstresses, some want to do hairdressing and all of that. But because of lack of support, they are sitting at home or they are idling about. With a 300 million allocation to the National Apprenticeship Program, Mr. Speaker, a lot of young people in this republic will have the opportunity to learn skills and employ themselves. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I must admit that the budget as presented by Dr. Atto-Forson is a budget of hope. It's a budget that will bring this country back on the path of progress, and it's a budget that will create jobs for the unemployed youth in this country. Thank you for the opportunity. Mama Pat, thank you.
Yes, leadership, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, we will finally take Honorable Hagia Zura. We have agreed among ourselves, so there's no difficulty here.
Very well. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to make a contribution to the 2025 budget statement and economic policy as presented to this House by the Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker.
So you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the budget statement was appropriately tamed, and it was themed resetting the economy for the Ghana we want. Mr. Speaker, I've had opportunity to say in this very House that this statement was about one of the first that carried all of us along. And indeed, it didn't come with any fancy names as we had in 2023 in Kabom budget, 2024 Nkunim budget. This is resetting the Ghana that we want. And all of us know that the English language is the de facto lingua franca for this country. So, Mr. Speaker, this year and this month of the presentation of the budget, coinciding with the celebration of the International Women's Day, I want to focus on the policies and programs in the budget that seeks to uplift the Ghanaian woman, that seeks to bridge the gap between the Ghanaian woman and the budget that seeks to bring hope to the young Ghanaian female. Mr. Speaker, the Mastercard Index of Women Entrepreneurs ranked Ghana very highly as the country that has more female business and females in business ownership. And so for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to fulfill his promise of establishing and empowering women by establishing the Women's Development Bank, and indeed actualizing that promise by providing the seed capital of 51.3 million is very, 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 is very, very great. And we, the women of this country, look forward to the full potential of this bank that will help women to reach their full potential. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the establishment of this bank and you situate it within a constituency like mine, the Salaga South constituency, where my women are into agriculture, fisheries, and other small-scale businesses to run their daily lives, you might not appreciate what the bank means until you get to a place like Salaga, where women sometimes need a capital as little as 500,000 Ghana cedis, as little as 1,000 Ghana cedis, as little as 2,000 Ghana cedis to set up a business, run it, and help take care of the household. The women of Salaga are indeed appreciative of this big step that His Excellency the President has taken towards women empowerment. Mr. Speaker, let's take a look at the free sanitary pads, which by all indications is a lifeline for education and especially for local jobs. It's a lifeline for education because most girls who have had hitherto to drop out of school because of the unavailability of sanitary pads now have an opportunity to stay in school, travel the full course, and reach their potentials. Just last week, Namibia swore in its first female president. They followed it with a vice president, female. In Ghana, we swore in our first vice president, female. We are hoping that this 2025 academic year, where the new free sanitary pad policy is going to be activated, one of these young people will come out one day and will be celebrated as the president of this beautiful republic. That is what we aim to achieve. And so we, the women of Ghana, are very excited about this, and we are going to give it our full support. In fact, it's not going to stop us from doing what we've been doing even before the free sanitary pads, where we supported young people in this regard. We're going to continue to augment what government is doing. Mr. Speaker, you will not know the import of this policy until you look at the UNESCO studies that estimates that at least every one child out of 10 in sub-Saharan Africa drops out of school due to menstrual cycle issues and lack of sanitary pads, lack of wash facilities. We are hoping and praying that we will receive this policy, travel the full length, and make our girls happy. Mr. Speaker, there was a debater on the other side this morning who wondered why government was going to spend money to open a mission in Hungary. And I wondered how anyone today will raise an issue with the government of Ghana opening a mission in Hungary. Mr. Speaker, we're all here. When the Russia-Ukraine broke, most of our students studying, especially in Ukraine, used Hungary as a safe haven. That is where they all fled to. We didn't have a mission. I recall the now Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, had to travel on his own to Hungary to find out how the students were coping. So, Mr. Speaker, we celebrate the decision and the policy to open missions in Hungary in order to take care of our students and Ghanaians in that part of the country. Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, we saw the crisis in the Sahel. We saw it started with Burkina Faso. We didn't act. Then Mali, we never acted. Then it got to Niger, and it became an issue of deploying armed soldiers to deploy to stop the coupists. Mr. Speaker, it took this parliament. And the members of the then Foreign Affairs Committee to stop that intervention. We urge ECOWAS to engage these leaders using diplomacy and tact. His Excellency President Mahama, sworn into office 7 January 2025, has already visited all these countries. And we've seen the positive energy that these visits have already generated. If we haven't seen anything, we've seen the lifting of the ban on grains to Ghana. And that, for me, is very, very important because it puts food directly on the table. And for anything that we do, there must be food on the table. We applaud President Mahama for his foreign policy direction, and we are hoping that we will stay non-aligned as our national foreign policy dictates, and work with friends. We don't need enemies. We don't have to make enemies of anybody. We don't have to go on the path of aggression. It's the path of diplomacy that dictates how our foreign policy will be run. And by the grace of Almighty Allah, Mr. Speaker, we are hoping that Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso will come back to the table, will talk and strengthen ECOWAS because it's the only regional bloc that we have. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the budget, and I pray that this budget sees and brings smiles and joy to the faces of all Ghanaians. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader, any indication?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't think we have done the required hours yet. So I would like to move for us to bring the curtain.
Motion for adjournment has been moved. Any seconder?
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, it's been brought to my attention as well. It's been brought to my attention that the honourable member wants to make Shaibu wants to make an urgent intervention. So if you please, it's about a referral that was referred to committee. So this is a very short one, Mr. Speaker. If you grant the leave, do so. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, the intervention is on what? The intervention is on what? Mr.
Speaker, I think the RTI estimate was wrongly sent to, I think, the Information Committee, but it should actually be sitting at Constitutional and Legal. That's my understanding. So we basically want your guide, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Muhammad Shabu, let me hear you.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I'm most grateful. Mr. Speaker, I make this special application as chairman of Constitutional and Legal Affairs. Mr. Speaker, your good self, a very long-standing member of this committee, you know very well that the RTI estimates and budget is always referred to the Constitutional and Legal Committee. For some reason, inadvertently, Mr. Speaker, this year's estimates have been referred to right to information. Clearly, the fact that you have a right to information does not make it an information budget. And so what matters is a right, and that right sits with the Constitutional and Legal Affairs. I so make the application, Mr. Speaker.
Which item are you talking about on today's order paper?
Speaker, a referral was made not today.
Yes, so it's not an item taken here today.
Yes, it's not, Mr. Speaker. Just drawing attention to the fact that this was done a day yesterday, I think.
So it was done yesterday?
Yes.
The referral was made yesterday?
It was done the last sitting day, Mr. Speaker, Friday.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Member needs to come with the right reference document so that you can be guided. But without making the right reference, Mr. Speaker cannot help under such circumstances. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I do agree with the Deputy Leader. So Honorable Shaibu can take notes and then come properly tomorrow and then make the appropriate reference to the very thing he's talking about so that all of us will be guided.
Yes, and what I want to understand is that has the estimate of the right to information referred already?
It has been referred, but it was not referred to his committee. And my understanding is that the very moment it was referred, he wasn't around to raise this objection. So it has come to his notice that it has been referred to a different committee. So he's trying to make an amendment to that. But like members,
I have been a ranking member for Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. And the estimate for the right to information ministry is normally referred to Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. If the case is that it is not referred to Constitutional and Legal Committee, then I am inclined to give a further direction that it be referred to Constitutional Legal Committee.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker.
So, Mr. Speaker, we'll let Honorable Shaibu liaise with the other committee chairperson so that we'll do the needful.
Very well, because it's an agency under Constitutional and Legal. Yes, the motion for adjournment has been moved. Any seconder?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Honorable members, it's less than 5 hours of sitting. The motion for adjournment of the House has been moved and seconded. As many as are in favor of the adjournment say aye. As many as against